So this BLT recipe that I invented was inspired by one from his book, and that's some tomatoes that we grew ourselves. This is avocado mixed with liquid smoke, some salt, and apple cider vinegar, and then the mushrooms are fried with garlic and just lettuce. And James's is a little bit different. Now I'm going to talk about fat, so I guess I'll just set this up and get started. So this episode of Diet and a Movie is mostly about fat. We're going to, I'll show you a few of the pictures out of this book that this one I like the most. That one. That's great.
It outdoes the front cover.
It's so good. But then this one's a pretty good second. And there's lots of great pictures in here. The food is awesome looking too. But I like the life pictures more. So anyway, but honestly, this is the kind of recipe book that you would like to read more if you're a meat eater than a vegetarian. But like I said, I was inspired to make a BLT and mine's of course a vegetarian BLT. It's actually vegan BLT, I think, because I don't think the Carbonaut has any dairy products in it. So looks good. So anyway, now you might be wondering, why is Pauline eating Carbonaut bread? And well, I wasn't going to, but it is keto certified. And so then I thought, well, I may as well try it last night. And I had nightmares, so I don't know. It might have something to do with it. But anyway, you look at the carbohydrates there and you go, 18 grams for 2 slices, Pauline, how can you do that? But the fiber is 14 grams, so you actually subtract the fiber from the carbohydrate and you get the net carb, and that's only 4 grams for 2 slices of bread, so that makes a pretty good sandwich. And I don't know if you're aware, but tomatoes are really low carb fruit, so, and these ones especially, this kind that we grew, they're not sweet at all. So, yeah, but actually this turns out to be a pretty tasty. With the apple cider vinegar, it sweetens it up a bit, and it's a good sandwich. So I would highly recommend that as a meal for if you're actually not really wanting to lose so much weight, because avocados, I mean, that's pretty fattening, right? And I will get into that in a moment. So now I guess I'll show you this first. So this is, I had the sandwich last night because I hadn't had very many calories over the day. This is how many I've had so far, and we had a really significant walk. So and net carbs, I'm not worried. So this is my last week. So this is where I was on January 1st, and I didn't really change, and I didn't really change, and I didn't really change, and then I didn't really change, nothing really happening, and I'm like, oh my. Well, look at all these things. So I have the one bar that gives me quite a lot of calories, and then that's the protein, and then that's the trans fat. So you'll notice that when I'm keeping track of things, I'm keeping track of my calories, I'm keeping track of my protein, I'm keeping track of the saturated and trans fats, percentage of daily value, and the net carbs and grams as I go. And so then I know how much I'm going through in a day. So I know that today I probably won't eat more than that. If I do, it'll just be a vegan one drink, and that won't bring me up any more than 2 of the net carbs. So anyway, so we'll show you while James is enjoying a sandwich. And how do you like that sandwich, James?
Good.
That's good. So there's this one I got today, or no, yesterday I think I bought it. So, but I just started trying it today because honestly, I've been trying to eat fish and I really, really, really don't like eating fish. I was raised a vegetarian and honestly, I prefer to be. I don't want to eat fish. So I would rather take it in pill form because fish, my food tasting like corpse of any kind of animal or fish is just no thank you. So you notice with this though, I didn't even read it. I should have read it, but I just saw omega-3 triples and I saw Genuine Health and I'm like, oh yeah, I used to get that brand. And so, but it only has 647 milligrams of EPA, which I'll show you later with the haddock. That's really just like eating a serving of fish, basically. So this one is the one that I used to get, omega-3 Joy, and you can see that's 2,000 milligrams of EPA. And that's the one that you really want to concern yourself with getting most of. This one, Krill, was just a cheapo, and it has 1,000 milligrams right there. So, I don't know. I don't think I really picked out a very good one this time, but I will take it all and it'll be better than nothing. So, James's sandwich, since it's a grilled cheese, fried in a little bit of coconut oil, and that sweetens it up a little bit too, but wow, look at that saturated fat. So, they say, well, with the coconut oil, it's medium chain rather than long chain, and that's supposed to be healthier. I don't know. So, now notice that on this coconut oil, there isn't one of these fun little labels that you see on some of the, like if you buy these bars, you'll notice this little label that says high in sat fat. So, and yes, the Quest bars are, but this doesn't have one of those little magnifying glasses, and neither does the Philadelphia cream cheese, which, look at all the sat fat in 2 tablespoons. That's a serving size for that. And that doesn't show up on this Magnum white chocolate almond thing, which has 45% of your daily value of sat and trans fats.
Just one serving? In
one serving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Been there, done that.
They don't have that. They don't have it on listed on here. So no little magnifying glass anywhere on this bag. And look at the sats fat on that one. Wow, 65% of your daily value in one serving of this. And to boot, you look at the carbohydrates there. So I was thinking, okay, well, I can't eat this much saturated fat on a diet that I'm burning carbs on, right? Because that's a huge amount of saturated fat. So then I thought, well, maybe I can eat this on a diet where I'm burning fat. But then you have that 26 grams minus 4 grams, that only leaves you with 22 grams, and that's more than you really want to be, than many people are aiming to be eating worth of fat in a day. And that's just the sat fat. Now, also, you'll notice on my sheet that I only counted the sat and trans fat. I actually want to be eating other kinds of fat. So, if say I get some fish and it has saturated fat or whatever, well, it's going to have, if it has EPA, it might be good thing. But if it's a protein that has saturated fat and no EPA, no omega-3, then I am not interested in that at all, of course. So, right now, unless it's a vegetarian one, because that doesn't add up any kind of any guilt factor or any really net carb for the pea protein, you know, from the Vegasport or whatever. That one's fine. So this is simply protein bar and lemon coconut flavor, and yes, it was delicious. 15% of the value of saturated fat in that. and only 13 grams of protein. Carbohydrates 7, and then you'd have to subtract the 17 minus 7 is 10, so that'd be a net carb of 10 for this, 10 grams, and that's huge. For only getting 13 grams of protein, does not seem worth it. So, good to go bars. You can see there that, there we go. The protein's only 5 grams, carbohydrates 18, 6 grams of fiber. So you take the 6 grams of fiber, subtract that from the 18, and that's still a lot of carbohydrates for only 5 grams of protein. So this is not a suitable thing either for a keto diet. So now we have Power Crunch, and James really liked this one. So this has 35% of your daily value of saturated fat in it, 11 grams of carbohydrates, no fiber, so that's really not worth it either, right? Because you're getting 14 grams of protein only, and that's a carbohydrate cost of 11 grams, and very much not worth it, as far as I'm concerned. So this one here, protein 20 grams, and carbohydrates still quite a lot. You subtract not only the fiber from this, but the sugar alcohols, so then that ends up being 15, so 24 minus the 15, so that's 9. And you can see so I've been eating these, and I prefer to be eating these ones though, because you look at the proteins, 21, the carbs, 22 minus 12 plus 4, and so you end up with only, what is it, 5 grams of net carb for 21 grams of protein. That's pretty good. So even though it has this high in saturated fat thing, that's certainly a lot better when you look in terms of all of this. Like, this is the Philadelphia cream cheese. You get 2 grams net carbs, only 2 grams of protein, and a whole lot of saturated fat. And honestly, a lot of people may be thinking, well, you know, I want to be eating lots of fat, but then I'm on keto and I can burn it and whatever. Okay, are you wanting to burn it off your body, or are you wanting to just eat the fat to burn, right? So here we are. This is a chocolate bar that we really loved. We thought this was delicious. And the saturated fat, 36% of your daily value of sat and trans, and carbohydrates, 23 grams. There's only 1 gram of sugar there. So obviously this is not something that one could eat while they're wanting to be keto. This is 21 grams of sugar right in there. So anyway, but notice there is no little magnifying glass for high in fat. I don't know what makes Health Canada decide to put this symbol on some foods and not others. It makes no sense to me. So anyway, I guess I will leave that there, because I don't really know where I was going with it. What I really wanted to point out is that there are different fats, and I'm not counting the fats that aren't saturated or trans, because frankly I'm not eating many of those either, but the sat and trans fat, I don't really want that in my body. Even though I'm wanting to, well, I am keto right now, I would rather be burning. The whole point of the diet, with when I was doing the oatmeal, the steel cut oats with the Vigo Sport or now doing other things with this keto thing instead. I'm wanting to burn my excess off. I already have lots of saturated fat that I'm packing around with me every day, that I would like that to go instead of eating something else. So looking at my thing for the week, and now, yeah, you might say, well, it's about roughly, well, it's 10 days, I guess. So I'm now 132.2 pounds today, and on January 1st I was 136.6, and I went up and down a little bit and whatever, but I wasn't really worried about it anyway. And now my body's pretty used to this, and it's fine. I really wasn't liking it for the first, like, up to probably January 6th, but they call that keto flu. So that was probably what was going on there. I was very unhappy with the whole thing. And anyway, yeah, so I look at this and I go, well, what could I do differently? Well, the obvious thing's the one bar. And I really I was using the Quest more often than the one bar, I think. And what I was trying to do lately, I got a good system in where I just had like soup or something like that in the morning first thing, that was just a broth, with some veggies and whatever, usually cabbage, kale, and because cabbage soup, well, that's a common weight loss thing anyway. And so then I had a workout, and then I'd have the Quest protein bar, and then I'd have another workout, and well, on the 8th I had a one bar and then another workout, and then I'd go walking and stuff, so lots and lots of workout, and I wasn't really worried about all the fat that I was consuming with the bars that much, because I know it, well, I'm walking it off. But the thing is, whether it's the Quest, which is giving me not very many net carbs, or the one protein bar, which is giving me more net carbs, which that's a concern, because although I was able to make it work just fine, but I can't have as many other things, because even like, say if I want to make a keto pizza or something, and I want to put some tomato paste on it, well, I think it's something like a tablespoon of tomato paste will be 2 net grams of carbs. Well, it doesn't seem like a lot, but if I'm only aiming to have 20 grams of net carbs in a day, it adds up quickly. And with the one bar, the 9 is taking a lot of that net carbs, the allowable net carbs. So what should I give up, right? In order to put in other good things that I want to eat. And the one bar, it seems to be a good idea to push that aside, put in more protein powder to make up the difference, and that will take out more saturated fat, which I don't want in my diet anyway. I mean, these bars, like the Quest bar, that's, if you're already the weight that you want to be, and you're keto and you're out climbing a mountain or something, and then you're like, wow, I haven't eaten in a long time, well, maybe one of those Quest bars would be a great idea. But because you're not wanting to lose weight, but if you're wanting to lose weight, well, if you keep eating saturated fat, there will be consequences. And so I mean, this guy's food, a lot of the time it looks awesome, and it says on here soup, salads, and sandwiches. And
it looks as though it's still bleeding.
Well,
oh, he is not in the
he really is. So anyway, there's some great pictures here, great recipes. If you're the kind of person like me that you can taste food, like when you read a recipe, you can taste. I guess if you've cooked a lot, then you can, maybe. But anyway, I've read through this, and some of these I was like, that's good. Even though, I mean, not all, right? Like banana bread French toast, that sounds
French
good.
toast. Yeah, I don't know.
For, if you like French toast.
No.
Or, like, there's a lot of things in here that I kind of laughed because James was eating the, what were those called? Oh, not a passion flaky. He was eating passion flakies, and so he has recipes like that, and wow, looks so good. And
tempting, yeah.
This would taste delicious too, not a Joe Louis. Delicious looking. So good. And like the recipes look good. I can't, of course, try them because these would not be suitable to my diet right now, and honestly I don't think that I could interest James in eating a lot of these. Like there's his version of a grilled cheese sandwich. Anyway.
So when it says, oh sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Not a Joe Louis.
Yeah.
I think that's named after a
Oh.
boxer.
Okay.
It's good that you don't know boxing, right?
No, I don't know. So anyway.
Is he afraid of infringing on copyright or something? Or
Well, yeah, that'd be the name of those products,
Yeah.
right? So, James is probably going to talk about Frasier a little bit because that's all I have that I brought out. And
Speaking of all we have, how much time?
oh, I just checked, but you know what? I wasn't really paying attention to it, so 7 minutes. And I wanted to mention that a funny thing happened. You know, this is the volume 2 that we reviewed earlier, and I forgot to mention that although the second disc in here, it's labeled like it has a Tsar Born, the late Dr. Crane, like all those, but actually on the disc, it's the same as the first one. Disc 2 is the same content as disc 1. So we didn't actually, I guess, watch the whole because we weren't able to. That wasn't a part of it. So I'll put that over to James, and I'm gonna get to enjoy my sandwich because it's gonna be so good.
No, this is season 7 to 11. So there were 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There was a previous box set of the first 6. Is that what we're supposed to have? This is the second of 2. It says V2, volume 2, right?
Yeah.
I noticed as we were working our way through, there were too many signs of senility in a sitcom.
Yeah.
Which
like
the main
adding,
one is marrying off.
Well,
main
that's a
characters.
problem. Yeah.
So it was. I've got to get this right.
Daphne.
I always say Deirdre, Daphne and Niles. You know,
Yes.
that was where. And then they had a kid, which is even more so.
Yeah.
What were you going to point out?
Oh.
Well, oh gosh. Well, that one might be
Daphne's-
worth picking up and washing off.
I know. Daphne's family.
Oh my God! When they moved
bad.
in, that was the. I kind of liked her brother. I couldn't imagine them coming from the same family, but it's amazing. If you looked at our family, 7 kids, you'd never, going from one to the other, you'd never think that they came from the same family. Of course, the last 3 of the 7 were adopted, and all from different backgrounds. But
I would think that you and your brother were related. I definitely thought that.
it was very different.
Yeah.
I'm closer to my oldest sister. She's not older.
Yep, and she looks a lot like you.
She does, actually.
Yep, she does.
Mutates mutandis. She doesn't have quite the beard. I'm just kidding. She's pretty good looking. But you know, like I just thought he'd be there for one show or 2 shows or something like that. 1 episode, 2 episodes. He was an interesting character, and whatnot. Kind of like a real down at the mouth Keith Richards or something like that. Keith Richards with no tongue. And but yeah, it was. I was still able to put up with it. It's one of my favorite Frasier, one of my favorite sitcoms. Yeah, speaking of my brother, I mean, he became more and more like Frasier as years went by, and only less and less comic. Whereas Frasier, as he got nuttier and nuttier, became more and more comic. But yeah, it's the sad thing is I think this Kelsey Grammer is kind of like Frasier.
Yeah.
Not much of a stretch. Apparently he's a right-winger.
Well, it's funny because before James and I got together, somebody at work was telling me that, well, we used to say that when James's brother was around, we used to say that they were like Frasier and Niles, and I thought that was kind of funny, and I think that, like, I hadn't realized it. I hadn't really watched Frasier when I was young too much, and I just watched all of this recently. I'd never watched it when it was on, prime time or whatever. And it's funny that, like, James was even pointing out that my ex looked a lot like Frasier. And yeah, and it is funny that the guy from that I worked with pointed out that James and his brother seemed like Niles and Frasier because their dad has a little dog, and his their dad always wanted a Jack Russell. Oh, there's the Blue Jay. Hi, Blue Jay.
Hey, buddy. How things going?
That was a very pretty song you made.
Yeah, that was nice. You weren't screaming like Screaming Jay Hawkins. Oh, that's nice, too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. You looking for food? He's going for food, not just looking.
Wow.
There we go.
And then he's singing about it.
Nice. Oh, that's a nice sound.
Yeah. I hope he's not out of peanuts. He mustn't be, because he was happy about it.
Seemed happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we took a route that went by us. Anyway, Kelsey Grammer's a lot closer to my brother than I am to Niles. They're both, well, my brother loved movies. He loved, so that would replace opera and stuff like that for Kelsey Grammer. And literature. Did take Latin, although I was more expert in Latin than him. It's just based on how much more I took at university. Twice as much as him. Not so much on languages. Mainly just a few Latin phrases and stuff like that. Literature. I mentioned art, and that's about it.
You didn't put that on your sandwich.
No, I'm going to have that separately.
Okay.
Anyway, and Niles has got that too, so you don't want to
okay,
scare.
baby.
Hey there.
I didn't want to scare you. I just wanted to peek at you.
He wants someone that we got here. He's cleaning off his bills so he can.
I think he needs more peanuts.
His breast bristling?
Do you want